Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Becky, and so I was just sitting here and meditating and started talking to myself out loud, which actually happens a lot. I personally think it's very healthy. Again, I could pull out the DSM-5 and find plenty of labels that people could try to say that that's a symptom of. I'm sure schizophrenia would be one of the first ones that people would throw out there. Personally, I don't see anything wrong with talking to yourself, and no, I don't even see anything wrong with answering yourself because we are a collective consciousness. So there's always multiple streams of thought that are going through our head, depending on where we're at and what stage of life and what's happening. So I just got the urge to go ahead. The Holy Spirit said, jump on and take what you're channeling and just capture the moment, because this will help people also explain the differences of who I was versus who I am. I've just spent a lot of self reflection and really soul searching and done this whole shamanic soul retrieval, and I'm going to continue with that. I had been the first half a century that I've been on this planet, I have been indoctrinized and colonized, and I've lived within that infrastructure, and within it was just so much guilt and shame and fear and anxiety and depression, and boy, I really got to explore a lot of the shadow side of life in general, which then would bring out feelings and emotions and things to the surface that I then had to process. But then as a single mom who is now a Sigma, who's got no support system other than God, but in her mind doesn't think she has a support system because she doesn't even trust herself now based on her experiences, right? And so now here I am coming out of all of that. It's almost like the Princess Bride coming out of, I can't remember what they called it, but it was like the bog of toxic mist or something like that. I don't remember, but if you remember, go ahead and put it down in the comments for me to remind me. What was the name of that bog in The Princess Bride? I know, like, that's really important. But hey, when you have a brain like mine, you get caught on these little trivial moments, and hey, you run with it sometimes. And sometimes we bring it back full circle to what we're supposed to be talking about, and that and that could be annoying for people who work with me. They see this side of me and they're like, how in the world can she really be so spiritually gifted? Well, if you're part of my tribe, go ahead and schedule that free consultation at homans.consulting@gmail.com, because you know what I'm talking about. People will want to give us labels that don't really fit us, but in that moment, we're like, yeah, I can see why they thought that. Which makes diagnosing us very difficult. Well, first of all, I'm from a time period when they didn't diagnose. Heck, we didn't even have money for milk half the time, so going to a doctor was like a luxury. I can remember many homeopathic little, things that we did to try to, make lemon honey teas and stuff. There's so many things that we had to do our own little apothecaries, and because we didn't have money to go to the doctor to get whatever ailment fixed. So what are you going to do? Just sit there in pain? No, you get up and you figure out, all right, research, we got the internet, there's got to be a remedy for this. Well, back then they didn't have the internet, but we did have still collective consciousness, and I was blessed enough that my granny on my dad's side knew how to tap into those using her shamanic natural abilities through her bloodline, and so, as well as the upbringing that she had, which led to her being able to teach me things to be able to help you, because there are some things that females need to know in particular about hygiene and becoming a woman and things, and so some of those ancient ways aren't taught today, and that's where then I can come in to assist on truly understanding how to use the physical vessel that you've been given, and not to criticize it and condemn it and like it's a project, because that's what I did when I was surrounded with people who were constantly picking on me and telling me what I needed to do differently, what was wrong with me. And my goodness, it seemed like I couldn't do anything right. And my tribe will understand that. They will resonate with that no matter what effort you put into trying to, please your parents, or, maybe you became a really excellent student like I did. I mean, I was like, whoo, all right, teachers love me. I'm going to be extra good in here. You know what? I'm going to be the teacher's pet. And when the teacher has to leave the room and they pick a student that's going to have to monitor everybody, guess who it's going to be? It's going to be me. So believe me, I have been taking over rooms since I was little. And not everybody likes that. But my tribe, who wants to be the center person in their life, but the people around them keep pushing them around and telling them what to do, telling them what to think, making them question and doubt themselves. My tribe is going to understand how much I had to overcome in order to now be blessed by the universe with a business that allows me to be your cosmic blueprint and your cheat sheet for launching out into the world. Okay? Some of my star seeds are going to do this when they're young. Believe it or not, I have worked with star seeds through systems, whether it be the education system, court systems. I've advocated in different arenas where kids have had to be taken away from parents for the safety of everybody involved. And sometimes that's necessary. And so the parent has to be taught that it's okay to let go. Some star seeds are only meant to be with their biological karmic family for a short period of time, because they were supposed to only learn certain lessons, and then for whatever reason they're going to get transplanted somewhere else. And the problem, and then that's where the foster care system came in, right? But the problem becomes is that the systems became corrupted, and so then they get misused. And so now we're in this whole cleanup phase of humanity. And I have to say, I think America has the most cleanup of all the world. I think America needs the most spiritual cleanup. I think we've been broadcasting all how wonderful it's over here and the luxuries are great and don't you want to come over here? But I almost feel like it's been, America has been created like in Pinocchio, where Pinocchio goes to like fantasy land. I almost feel like the United States has become like fantasy land of the world. And once you get here, then you realize on a spiritual level that you're being trapped into Hades' playground, basically, here in the United States. At least in other countries, you know who's wearing guns and who's in charge, and they make it very clear, hey, cut and dry, you can't walk here, you can't sit here, you can't do that. Here in the United States, they'll invite you with a smile and then serve you poison, for the meal. And so it's like, whoa, spiritually I'm talking about, right? And I don't know, maybe some places for real, I don't know. But I'm just saying is in the United States, spiritually, we are emanating such toxicity out into the ethers and out into the world that God has no choice but to do a factory reset on humanity. What that looks like, how that's going to play out, we're all in different stages of that plan playing out, and I only know my little piece is to help my star seeds launch faster. I should have launched probably when I was about 9 years old. The system was supposed to have taken me out of my mother's care, and unfortunately things didn't go the way they were supposed to go. Okay, so we want to make sure that the star seeds are launching when they're supposed to launch, and that the star beings that are in control in the systems, the higher up leaderships, which I have engaged with on multiple levels, and I stand in opposition of a lot of the infrastructure of the patriarchy. I'm not saying that we don't need men in control and men aren't better at regulating emotions, but in today's society, hell, it really has kind of flipped the script on everybody, and now everybody is smoke and mirrors and illusions. And if you don't have legitimate spiritual gifts, and people can't see those in action, the fruits of the spirit, then they're going to assume that you're demonic possessed. They're going to treat you as though you are a demon in flesh, pretending in their face, playing in their face. And the reason why I can say that is because I've experienced it. And I am lucky enough that I have been sharpening my discernment skills since I was a very small child. So for half a century now, I've been sharpening my gifts intentionally, following where God has led me, whether I liked it or not. Whether I liked it or not, I would follow. And I would always have lessons that I would learn in that location. And one of the things that I have learned is that we are meant to be nomadic. The Norman Rockwell family unit was actually not how we were designed to be. We were designed to be more how the Native Americans would do things. And again, we can get into cultural differences, but all I'm saying is there was a reason why they would take the female at puberty and usually marry her off or couple her off with another tribe, and then the mother and the daughter would be able to be leaders in their own right, in their own communities. But for some reason, Norman Rockwell thought it would be great to brainwash people to think, no, you're supposed to have this nuclear family where everybody stays together. And they're going to stay together forever. Oh my God, this is going to be great. And before you know it, 2 generations, maybe, that's what people think is supposed to happen. And there's not enough of us out there with truth. And I'm not saying I got the 100% truth, and I'm still learning, right? And that's why I look forward to meeting you when you schedule a free consultation at homans.consulting@gmail.com. So that way we can talk about your situation and we can share ideas, and you can see if the services that I offer are services that you're willing to pay for, while having a cool conversation. And it's a free consultation, so at least you get one free cool conversation out of me, and who knows what coding happens and activations happen in that one session, and that's a free one. So go ahead and like, share, and subscribe so we can get this content spread out and more people can get the help that they need. And I look forward to talking with you in my next video. Have a great day.